Hi Aquarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. We're here with a general reading. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome. Happy to have you here. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing you really thinking a lot about your responsibilities right now, and this can also be connected with like things that you're committing to, things that you're taking on, what you're putting on your plate, what you're taking off of your plate. I was also seeing the Three of Cups too, so there may be a reunion that you're having. For some of you, you're getting together with coworkers or old coworkers, or you are going to be invited to see people that you may not have seen in a little while. So yeah, you have the opportunity to go to something socially. Alright, we're starting off with the Judgment card. Something that you're taking a deep look at. What's going on within your close relationships? You're in a spot where you're trying to analyze maybe if the dynamics feel fair or balanced between you and... This can be like your relationships in general. This can be your close relationships. It can be a particular relationship too. So for some of you, there can be like a large overall reviewing that you're doing of like, let me make sure that all of my relationships are flowing in the ways that I want it to. And for some of you, there may be a focus on a particular relationship. This is a more established relationship of yours. This can also be connected with your commitments too, or a commitment that you have. So you may be sorting something out. Can be reviewing standards, can be reviewing values. Like, it feels like, do you like the energy between you and this person and how things are going? Or do you feel undervalued? Or do you feel like maybe there are things that you can do for this person where maybe you can show them that you value them? Things like this. It's like there being a concern that things feel balanced between the two of you. Whether this be like everybody doing their fair share when it comes to like work or chores, or like what type of energy are you showing up? Are you being present? Are they being present? Things like this. You could just be thinking about this too. Like if you were to get in a relationship, what it would take to have you be comfortable with committing to it. Like what would be worth investing into you, for you. And yeah, you could be deciding about something that you're already connected with or potentially would connect with. Could also be waiting to discuss your feelings until you have something figured out too. Something is building, but it's not time yet, is what I'm seeing. And there's going to be kind of like an exploration of how one is feeling, but it may have not been brought up into the conversation yet. There may be certain things that you didn't touch on yet. I'm seeing you like kind of wait to let somebody know something or to respond or let them know how you're feeling. What this feels is like a deep, deep evaluation, like in concerning my participation in a relationship. Is this dynamic what I need it to be? Does it meet my standards? Does it meet my needs? So it's not even you being like judging this other person. It's more about the actual relationship between the two of you and like figuring out your needs, because that's going to need to come first. And then figuring out whether or not this relationship is compatible with those needs that you have. And it's like, after you think about it and take the time to think this all the way through, then you are going to respond to this person or share your feelings or let them know. Like, once you've gotten to a conclusion, and I'm seeing like you're getting there, but you're not there all the way yet. I'm also seeing too that like things that brought you happiness in the past, or maybe what you thought was going to bring you a sense of fulfillment, what you were moving towards, that may have changed a lot. Like, I'm seeing your standards have changed and what you're looking for have changed, and maybe what you recognize as your needs have changed as well. So this also means too that maybe the typical relationships that you would have gone for in the past are also changing because of that as well. And you could be trying to figure out, like, is this one still compatible with the changing that I've been going through? Because, yeah, there's, like, more of a depth now. I'm definitely seeing this. Like, before, it may have been... Before, what you thought was going to bring you a sense of happiness, it may have been less... You may have, like, not been able to get that deep yet. And although it could have been deep at that point in time, you've gotten deeper now. The energy with Scorpio is this like unveiling of self and this shedding of self. So it's like things in the past that could have brought you a sense of happiness that, again, like maybe they were things that were relevant to you at that time, or things that maybe were more of a temporary sense of happiness. Now this is like a more in-depth analysis of what it is that you're looking for and what you want to be a part of. You're more sensitive to energy now, more mindful, more aware, more self-aware. And you're in a space too where it's not just the talk, it's also the walk that you're doing too. Because you're looking for things that are stable and things that are going to be lasting for you. Like, you're thinking about your future, you're thinking about what it is that you're building. You want to build things that are lasting for you. Like, I'm seeing Saturn definitely be connected with this, which when we experience shifts with Saturn, it means like we get more serious with the things that we're doing, and it means that we're more concerned with what we're building. And when this part is definitely being highlighted, if there were things that were unnecessary or driving you away from the point, those things, we get rid of them. They are expelled. So Saturn comes through and it's like, are you doing unnecessary things? Are you putting things on your plate that are not beneficial to you? Are you entertaining and maintaining relationships being like, one day it's going to be what I want it to be, but it never will be? So even though Saturn can be kind of harsh, where it's like, wow, you didn't have to say it like that, at the same time it wants what's best for you. It's like a very strict parent or a very strict teacher, something along like authority figure, because Saturn represents authority. And it's this part of us that wants us to be making effective moves and cut out anything that's unnecessary. It's about getting like to the bare bones of things. And so if there's been anything frivolous that's been going on, or like head in the clouds where you haven't been being realistic, Saturn is going to ground you. I guess that can be taken in a number of ways. When I say Saturn's going to ground you, I mean more so like put your feet on the ground, but also it can kind of feel like being grounded too. Like, it can sometimes feel like punishment, like, and now I don't get to have any fun. But the thing is that when you put in the work and the consistency and all of that, you end up reaping the reward at the end of it. So it's like you pass the class, you get the grade, you get to graduate, and then there are also new skills that you have under your belt, and you're being more realistic, and you're learning how the world works and how you work within it and how to like manifest the things that you want. Because you can be like, I'm going to manifest this thing, but taking the wrong steps to do it, or inaccurate steps, or steps that are not effective because you're in a fantasy space that's unrealistic. And Saturn is like, you're not going to get where you're trying to go doing it like that. So it will pull things out of your life and like separate you from the things that aren't going to get you where you want to go. So it's ultimately helpful, but sometimes it can feel like things are being taken away from us. So there can be sometimes a sense of scarcity that we may feel, or it feels like kind of serious. But yeah, it's all meant to be helpful for sure. And I'm definitely seeing progress that you've been making too with like the executive decision making. Your pursuit of happiness has evolved. What that looks like for you has evolved. You're in a space where you're like, my moves, I'm going to make moves that count. I'm not here to mess around. And I'm seeing you closing out a chapter, and I'm seeing an ending here. As I said before, like this may, when it happens, you may be like, why am I being punished right now? Like why is it so severe? But it's because, like, look, Saturn is right before this. And Saturn's like, stop playing around with something that's not working anymore. We need to get rid of it. So here it is happening. And this is why it's here. It wasn't working for you. This means, like, it wasn't going to be what you needed it to be on the emotional end. So that's why it's getting cleared out for you. Like, whether you did this or circumstances happened in a way where this thing is over now, it's kind of like, if you don't do it, we'll do it for you. One of those situations. Because you're getting more serious about your state of happiness and also like your well-being in general. Because 10 of Cups isn't just like, I'm going to be happy all the time. It's like, let me make decisions that I feel at peace with, and let me be surrounded by a life that I feel a sense of contentment with, and let me go after the things that I want and the things that bring me joy. And again, like if I have anything on my plate that is sucking my energy, that is unnecessary for me, where I need to cut it out, that's what's going to happen. And so values come into play too. And this means a relationship is changing. For some of you, you haven't gotten to the point of ending this yet, but it's going to be ending. You may be waiting for maybe waiting to get to something, or waiting to graduate to somewhere, or for something to kind of complete. Something needs to finish out. And then I'm seeing there's going to be like a message or communication about an ending. But yeah, you may be, this can be like, I'm waiting right now, waiting on something to come full circle, or waiting for something to come to an end or to complete. And then once this happens, ending happens too. So I'm looking at Aries, Scorpio, Saturn, and also Pluto. It's gonna be okay. I'm seeing you be in a spot where it's like, oh, this feels nightmarish even. However, this is a new chapter. Let's also talk about this too. Aquarius, right? A fixed sign. What this means is that wherever Aquarius falls in your chart, when you get put into a lane, you like to stay in that lane. So it's like, I can do this all day. Like, you get fixed in a spot or moving in a particular direction, and you're like, let me just keep chugging along in that direction at that pace. You know, like, you don't want to be disturbed or switch lanes. You just want to stay there and mind your business and keep doing what you're doing. It's just the nature, okay? So you may find that wherever Aquarius sits in your chart, or fixed signs in general, you have a hard time transitioning. Once you get onto the other side of this, like once this new beginning materializes for you, you're going to be like, oh, that's fine. Like, I don't know what I was so worried about, you know, like that. But this whole anxiety and like this feels like a nightmare and all of this change and all of this, yeah, turmoil and anxiety and the nightmares and whatever else, your bad habits coming back that you were like, I thought I got rid of that, because you feel so much pressure or tension or stress and just feel psychologically like you're having a hard time with this. It's going to pass. You just have to find ways to relax into it, as uncomfortable as it can be, and know that it's not the end of the world either, and that this is for you and an increase in your quality of life. And the thing is too that you also weren't feeling very happy too in the first place in whatever situation this was anyway. I'm getting a huge confirmation there. You weren't happy anyway. Look, you're like looking at a situation and thinking about your happiness and your like emotional well-being and what it looks like when you're feeling good about things and at peace, and feeling like this, like that's not there. You're not feeling it in this situation, and that's another big reason why all of this is happening. And it's just also like a test to you to see how you're going to deal with maybe a more stressful or upsetting situation. But again, like keep in mind, even though, like, feel how you're feeling, don't shut it off, allow everything to come through, find ways to find somewhere to channel this energy into for you, or find ways to expel it. You want to keep it moving. You don't want to let it get blocked up. So like let it out, but also don't be making any risky decisions because you're not feeling great about something. And remember, even if you're not feeling it in a moment, remember that this is in your best interest that this is happening, okay? It's going to feel like a challenge. I'm seeing this be hard on you psychologically more than it will be anything else. Hold on. I'm getting something. You may feel too that at the bottom of it, when things are going on, like the only time that you really, really struggle is when something has you messed up psychologically. And I'm seeing this definitely be like a challenge for you. However, if you get in a space where it's like you get so sucked into the vacuum of how horrible you feel this experience is, and you don't look up and keep your head up and see what's going on, you're not going to be able to find a way out. So that's why this is important to ground as much as possible. Use coping strategies that work for you. Different coping strategies work for different people. So you have to find what helps you balance. And also, when you're in a heightened state, when you are feeling dysregulated, do not make any big decisions. I would strongly advise against that. Because it's going to be almost like a different functional part of you with different motivations will be the one making those decisions, and you don't want that. You want like your higher grounded self to be making choices for you. Also too, like this mental pain that you are experiencing and feel even like you're stuck or blocked, it's very, very temporary, but it's going to feel very intense. Maybe even for like a short amount of time, it's going to feel very heavy, very intense, but then it's not going to feel like that. Also too, when you look back at this, I think that you're going to realize that what felt so triggering to you was the fact that something was changing, and less so that, oh, this was something I cared about that I didn't want to lose. Because I'm not really seeing that be the case. I'm seeing like when you look back at this, you're going to be like, yeah, I wasn't happy and like I did need to leave this situation. And you're going to see like the thing that was hardest for you was that transitionary point. It wasn't really so, it was less about what was happening and more about the fact that you were being put into a different lane and needing to adjust to that. Yeah, okay, so things are going to feel very intense. It's going to feel like a lot psychologically for you. Again, you may feel like blocked or stuck, or just like this feels very heavy and I can't get out of it. It's kind of like a snowball that happens, but then you get a break. It's like a total relax and coming down from all of this, where you just get to chill out. So you go from feeling like really high strung about something, and then kind of like the challenge is sort of getting to the other side of it, and then this is like chilling out. You feel like you're recharging your battery, self-care, things really calm down, things get quiet. You can like hear yourself thinking in an organized way. And then you like return back to your normal schedule. It's like you're sleeping again, like you find your routine. So you adjust. Also too, this makes sense as well. We have Pluto at the very top of this. Pluto was the first card out. Yeah, I'm seeing you also too, if you were feeling like disconnected from like your spirituality, or disconnected from your guides, or kind of like, I don't know, for some of you, you could have even been feeling a bit abandoned, something like that. It's like when you get to this point where there's this resting period, you can feel that connection between like you and spirit and you and your guides, or whoever it is that you connect with, whomever. You feel that strengthen again. So you feel like it's much more present and palpable within your life. There may also be somebody coming in that you trust too, that gives you a sense of support. Or somebody that, yeah, somebody that supports you. For some of you, they may like give you counsel, like maybe somebody that you talk to things about. You have an emotional connection with this person, or with your spirit team, whatever it is that you're connecting with. Yeah, this is something that's actually going to strengthen your faith, interestingly enough. So yeah, it really seems like, sorry, I'm looking at O in the other room. It really seems like things feel very hard, and then the storm comes, and then things feel very much okay. It's just a matter of getting through this right now. Let me just check this out, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, challenging in interpersonal relationships, standards that are changing and evolving with you, growing with you, you concerned with your state of happiness, struggling with something, you're going to come out on the other side of this and feel connected again. You're in the process of a big change, a big shift that is almost completed. There's just like one more piece left to this, and then the ball is going to be rolling more quickly. All right, so we're looking at Pluto, Scorpio, Aries, Saturn, Taurus, Leo. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.